Oh man, yes, I am on time. I thought it was impossible. I didn't get to sweat tonight, so I won't be drinking as much coconut water, but I made it. Yes, indeed. And I'm getting better lighting up here for next week. We're gonna have better lighting up here so you can see more of my pretty face. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is pour some coconut water as we go here, and we're gonna start looking at the questions. You're not gonna believe the craziness that is going on right now, but I'll save you that drama. All right, let's hit some settings here so I can maybe even see YouTube stuff. Not YouTube stuff, I need the toolbox. There we go, this will be YouTube stuff. Perfect. Okay, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World Hangout. The place to ask questions is at news.therawfoodworld.com/live. I think I'm seeing YouTube comments here now too. I have no idea how to see Google Plus comments. Maybe one day it'll just magically pop up like the YouTube did. Yum. So what I'm going to do now is go to the questions page because I didn't even get there. Here it is. Okay. Can you hear me, everybody? Crystal, shoot me a note that you hear me okay, you see me okay. I thought you said there was a mass questions here, Crystal. No, there is. I thought it was gonna be a lot. Okay, so here we go. For those of you that don't know, Crystal is our social media manager, and she handles all this stuff. And she's a spoiled little girl. Oh, we won't call her a little girl. She's a spoiled woman. She has Joshua Strayer, who you saw that video where he healed from stage 3 cancer. This is his wife. And, you know, he's a hardworking man. And Crystal's job is she works for us as a social media manager. And to try to get this spoiled woman to work is like pulling teeth out of a child that won't open its mouth. Spoiled, I tell you. I'm always trying to like do this, do that. But Crystal, the Hangout newsletter is not going to be like the last time. We have an entire new method, kind of like the news site newsletter. It takes 3 seconds. She ignored my request to see if she would be willing to do that type of thing. I'm always trying to like get her to do little things and oh, my husband pays for everything. Okay, I think I'll stop there. She's probably going to kill me. All right, Joshua, I try, man. That's all I got to say. Good thing viewers start low at, 500 versus 1,500, because it builds up over time. So people would have to come back and hear all that again to hear what we were saying about Crystal. Okay, so here we go. 5 days ago, Christopher Morales asks, and this is all written at news.therawfoodworld.com/live. This is where I answer all the questions. Hey, Matt. So I experimented going back to cooked vegan last week after 6 months of going raw. Right now I could see on Skype, Crystal's typing. Okay, so I experimented going back to cooked vegan last week after 6 months of going raw. Okay, were you really 6 months raw, or did you think you were 6 months raw? She knows she spoiled everybody. Okay, I only lasted a week before coming back to raw. Okay, so maybe you have been doing raw legitimately. I had felt that it would be hard to sustain raw, being how I live in New York. And as you know, the pollution is bad and quality of food is sometimes hard to come by in the winter months. I remember hearing from you last time. I feel though these are just rationalizations, and I've been doing much mental work to really put things into perspective. I want to start juice and or water fasting. Okay, so when you start juicing and water fasting, you're going to push yourself into a cleaner state. You're going to totally change the chemical composition of your body to where you're going to require even more food. So if you try to go back to cook vegan in the future, it's going to be even more difficult if you start playing around with juice fasting. But hey, all power to you. But I'm unsure if I should be being how I'm a student who has to bike to class every day and I work out as well. Well, you'll probably get skinny. I have more energy when I juice, but it depends how far along you are on the raw path. In your experience, do you feel that fasting would be an option at this moment, or would there be any alternatives that would require me to need so much downtime? Why? Well, firstly, tell me what your purpose is in fasting. You're on a raw food diet. That's a fast. That's a lifelong fast. You're eliminating everything from your diet but water-rich foods, which is 90% water. An apple is 90% water. And this is why you detox like crazy on a raw food diet, because you're eliminating everything from your diet but water and delicate soluble fibers. So what I need to know why you want to go further. I mean, it sounds like you're doing great. Irina writes, this is the bottom to a maraca. Chicka, 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 chicka. Irina writes, hi, Matt. I won't be able to watch your Hangout on Tuesday. This is 3 days ago. So I'm posting this early, so she'll be able to watch the replay. All replays go on YouTube after it's done. Going back to cook, okay. So, oh no. I'm 53 years old, writes Irina, and I'm changing my diet to a whole foods one. Boom! You just hopefully got the golden ticket to, God willing, not ending up relying on pharmaceutical drugs for a specific condition, ailment, and degenerative disease like 90% of Americans. You are also most likely, God willing, not going to become incapacitated or need a walker or cane or be thrown in an old age home due to not being able to function well because of this decision. And finally, you probably won't end up with Alzheimer's, God willing. I've gone off all medication and have been drinking carrot juice like you suggested in previous Hangouts. Okay. What I'm concerned about the most is my osteoarthritis. Before we continue, let's state that check with the healthcare practitioner before making any changes. I'm only here sharing my opinion based on personal experience during these live Hangouts. I'm just a hippie 40-year-old kid. Okay, so here we go. What I'm concerned about the most is my osteoarthritis. I was wondering if MSM powder might help. And if you have any other dietary suggestions regarding this disorder. It's mostly affected my hands, but has almost spread to my knees and hip. Well, I don't know what type of pharmaceutical drugs you are using and if it's for that. I'm a big believer that the body can heal itself. But I would never tell someone for legality purposes and my own safety to come off of pharmaceutical drugs. And when you come off pharmaceutical drugs, you got to go through withdrawals with them. But I believe that the body can heal itself. And the way to do this is to be on a whole foods diet and eliminate the stuff that usually causes the disease, which is processed foods, which is what you're doing is you're going on a whole foods diet and you're drinking carrot juice, and add some greens with that carrot juice and drink a few of them, 2 to 3 a day. And that combination all together. And one thing that could really help with this, and it can get really, it's going to feel like it's getting worse, most likely, before it gets better. One thing, so let's say you have osteoarthritis and you have all these calcifications inside your joints and bones. Removing that is not pleasant. Norman Walker, in his book, Dr. Norman Walker wrote a book on vegetable juicing. Just type in Norman Walker vegetable juice on our website. We even have it. And he talks about a process to help with decalcification, with arthritis and stuff like that. And I don't have it all off the top of my head. Oh, yes, I do. What he suggested, and he says like people, it's painful though, but what he suggests is drinking grapefruit juice every morning because it has salicylic acid, which can help break down this calcification. And then you want to be drinking a carrot celery juice every day, 1 or 2 or something, because that combination has a celery has high sodium and low calcium. And since calcium gets stabilized in the solution of sodium, what can happen is the calcification junk with all of this natural sodium going in, only from from celery juice, can actually stabilize it and bring it out the body. And he also recommends to do carrot and spinach juice to help with the peristalsis to remove it out. And then one of the best things you could probably do to aid this process and to speed it up is colon cleansing through enemas and colonics. Okay, so you're wondering if MSM powder might help. What we're trying to do is remove the calcification. Oh, and then he says the carrot celery also has regenerative properties to actually rebuild your joints, hopefully, most likely. So doing that every day religiously, and then if you're especially doing the whole foods and willing to do the enemas, I'm not saying that's going to heal you. I'm not saying, you know, that you should be, I'm not a doctor here. I'm disclaimer, but I'm just saying, passing on the information. He said he's seen it happen many times in the book. Vincent T writes 2 days ago. Okay, Matt, first of all, you need to know that you rock. Okay, I got a little scared there because you need to know, and he said I rock. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. Having said that, could I hear your thoughts on intermittent fasting? Everybody has a different version of what it should be. What is yours, please? Mercy. It all depends what you're trying to accomplish, who you are, and stuff like that. A person on a standard American diet can do intermittent fasting by going on a raw food diet for a few days. They're eliminating everything but water-rich food. So the raw food diet is the detox diet. It's like a fast in itself. Fasting is simply eliminating things from your intake so you go through withdrawals. And you can take it as far as you want. If you want to take it further, you go from raw food diet to juice fast. If you want to take it further, you go water fast. If you want to take it even further, no water, just dry fasting. You see where we're going here? So it's all about who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, and yeah. The key is not intermittent fasting for longevity. The key is to have a consistent, healthy diet, ongoing. Bam, boom, bang, booyah. So that's the key here. And then if you start intermittent fasting, your body changes faster on a chemical level to where you require less food. So when you start intermittent fasting, body starts to require less food. And in order to attain higher levels of longevity, you have to start eating less because you require less. So the more you fast, the further you're going to take it to where you have to eat less food to live long. Is that what you want? I mean, if you're not feeling well, you ate too much one day, or you're burping up stuff and you feel like you need to fast, then you fast when you don't feel well, or when you're sick, or when something like that happens. That's a whole different story. But intermittent fasting is like, oh, I have a schedule. I fast 2 days a week, every week for the rest of my life. Well, you're going to get stuck there and be required to do that. If you did that for 30 years, what I mean is you'll be required to do that. And if you didn't do that, it would be, you would suffer, because wherever you throw in your body consistently, your body changes and balances out on a chemical level and adapts to whatever you're doing. And then you get stuck there. And if you start to go backwards, it hurts your health compared to what it would have been if you would have never done that. So it's like boxing yourself into a corner You see where we're going with this? I see it. And me personally, I box myself into a corner. I'm eating one raw food meal a day. I'm stuck. Okay. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm neurotic. I'm open to that. Well, I know I'm neurotic, but from experience, these are the laws that I've learned. Okay, Sophie writes, 10 hours ago. We're getting close. The next one is 2 hours ago, and then booyah, booyah, booyah. Sophie writes, Matt, thank you. How would you deal with a horrible situation where you got arrested for a potential misdemeanor crime? At this point, your career and potential future employment is at threat if you are found guilty. Given that you are in your mid-30s, it's kind of like a story. As you can imagine, this could be detrimental for your life in the US. What would you do and how to go and live through this? Please, please help. This almost happened to me. When I almost lost everything, I got lucky. So things happen in life for a reason. And you obviously screwed up in some way. Not because of what you committed, even though that was probably not good because it's a misdemeanor, and how you handled it. Let's say it wasn't like, maybe you got caught with drugs or something, I don't know. So whatever happened, you weren't focusing, you ended up in this situation now. And you got caught. So therefore, you were meant to get caught. So now you're in a situation where your life is, I don't want to say on the line, but a life change is a great potential. It's almost like this feeling of you when you're in college or something and you have sex with someone of the opposite sex and you didn't use a condom or something like this and you're freaking out and you're going to get tested and stuff like this. This is what you're going through. And it's like, so this is a good opportunity this is when a lot of people start looking to God, the creator. Because I'm telling you right now, the creator can make anything happen. He can sway the court case in your favor. And if he doesn't, I'd be grateful because that means that's what's needed. But regardless, if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, whoa, I can't believe it took this. I did this, this, and this. I'm seeing it. I admit it. I screwed up. I am sorry. Sorry. Please have mercy on me, please. And I'd seriously be on my hands and knees on the floor. I'm sorry. From right now, from this moment forward, I promise I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. And you never want to break a promise. This, this, and this. Please help me. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. I am so positive you're going to say, I am changing forever. Please have mercy on me and make this happen. Please. And then you move forward in faith. And if you are favored, you don't think that this was coincidence. You thank you for that. Thank you. And if it doesn't happen, I'm still going to do this, this, and this. Please provide an amazing future for me. I am ready to go at this. I am a changed woman. There is, without a shadow of a doubt, in any situation like this, the number one thing we can do for spiritual growth, as I've mentioned in video 3, healing series number 3, if you look to the right here on that video, it says healing number 1, 2, and 3. The number one thing we can do for spiritual growth is kind of like the same thing I just showed you. Sometimes these things have to happen in our life for us to make this change. And then you look back and you're going to be like, thank you. My life would not be the way it is right now if this incident didn't happen. All of the success, I've seen countless successful people with interviews where the starting point was an episode like this, or probably even worse. So that's the number one thing I would do. And then it would kind of almost be fun waiting for the end. Like, if I'm safe, then I get to I get to keep my job and have a new life and have this whole new thing. And if I lose, I've got a serious situation here, and this could be exciting. Maybe I'm going to go to Vilcabamba. Maybe I could do whatever. I could start my own business. I could do this. I could do that. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're going to be on the good side and you're still planning here, and now all of a sudden you're doing 2 things. I don't know. All right. Terry writes 2 hours ago. Terry's always the person who writes first. She's here every day, every Tuesday. Let's hear what it is. Hey, Matt, I've been hearing a lot about the paleo diet lately and that it reduces inflammation. Okay. Would you say this is better than the whole foods diet, a step closer to a clean diet? Basically, you're eliminating whole grains and beans. What is all the grains and beans anyways? Is it a B vitamin and protein? Is this what, if this is so, what can you do to replace to get these foods? Thanks, Matt. Okay. There are so many diets on the market out there today. It's crazy. And all the creators of these diets claim to get results. They say these diets are healthy. They're saying people are losing weight. They're even saying people are healing from disease. And to be honest with you, I've met thousands of people that have healed from all sorts of diseases on all of these diets. All these diets work because they have one common denominator. And that common denominator is they all eliminate processed foods from their diets completely. But some of them have different rules than others. And what the paleo diet does is they eliminate processed foods, but they take it even a step further and eliminate more foods. So it's even a step to a cleaner diet. Is that necessarily better? Depends how you look at it. You become cleaner faster, you go through more withdrawals, you start to require less food faster, and you can't really go back to what you were doing before. And then if you take it even further, by eliminating more foods, you're at the raw food diet. So yeah, the paleo diet is an extremely good diet based on the fact that you're eliminating all the processed foods. And then you're even eliminating a few more concentrated foods on the whole foods diet. Yeah, it's excellent. Jackson writes, viewers are climbing. Hi, Matt. These hangouts have been fun. Always trying to drink lots of water in the morning. A liter is what people are saying. How do you rebuild your stomach acid? Apple cider vinegar, kefir probiotics, and celery juice. I lost it from too much coffee. That sounds like a good idea. I mean, I would think that just your body would fix itself if you just started eating healthy and eliminated coffee and stuff like that. And who's telling you that? It's a very strong addiction, and was drinking it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach way back for many years before I knew this was bad. Now I'm drinking water with cayenne pepper. Woo! So what's going to happen is you're going through withdrawals of coffee, and this is going to feel like it's a stomach acid issue. It's going to feel like all sorts of issues. It's concentrated stuff that's coming out. Bianca writes 43 minutes ago. I love the video for forget raw and do this. On raw food, how do you get your protein? I just started eating from the Whole Foods list, and I'm trying to stick with it. If I eat mostly salad, even with FX chickpeas, I still at some point eat eggs or shrimp to feel good. Yeah, because when you start it's because it's more concentrated foods. If you don't eat those things, you're eliminating more from your diet, so you're gonna go through more withdrawals than if you didn't stop eating those. So that's good. Your consistency concept fits my experience. Intuitively, that's what I've been doing for years. Because of stress, I needed a liter of organic whole milk a day to make hot chocolate. Now I've just finally been able to eliminate the milk without cravings. Nice. I have kids who are with their father half of the time apart. He gives them lots of candy, cakes, few veggies, and fruit. I can't do anything about it. When they're with me, I try to compensate. Whole foods, good oils, many veggie, no sugar. I was at the verge of feeling it was abuse. He fed my kids that junk after myself having started to eat better. On another level, feel his love for them and his autonomy overrules any health agenda I have. Do you have any input as what I might think of this to cope with that reality? That is all for me. Bianca, I need more information. Have you tried talking to him about it? I mean, what I would do, the first thing that I would do is I would try to have an earnest conversation. I don't know what earnest means. I just hear it all the time. I'm repeating it. I think I know what it means. It's like a kid. They hear a word and they know how to, it's associated, and it's like a feeling, a vibration, prison. I'd have an earnest conversation with him, and I would, be heart to heart, like, hey, like, this is what's going on here. I started eating better. I want our kids to be healthy. I want them to have strong bones. I want them to have strong teeth, blah, 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 blah. And be like, hey, is there anything we could do to make this a little better? I understand. I mean, your love for them is incredible. I'm more willing to work with you. Maybe we could just they could eat some things, but not everything. And, just a little bit better. Did you do that? Well, that's what I would do. There's your answer. And if you didn't do that, if you did do that, let me know. We can take it to the next step. If we run out of questions, we'll go to the next step. It looks like we're running out of questions already. Okay. You know what? Let's just go to the next step right now. Let's just say you told him, you had to try to have a heart-to-heart with him, and he said, no. What do you do? What do you do? I would try to have a heart-to-heart talk with my children and explain to them what you've been going through, how good you feel. You want them to have strong bones, strong teeth, blah, 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 blah. And just say, this concerns me that when you're with your father, you eat these things. And I feel that, in the long run, this isn't really good for the human body. If you look around, kids are smart. If you look around, see all the elderly people, they're walking around with walkers and canes. And this is due to eating processed food. Educate them. and everyone's on pharmaceutical drugs, Alzheimer's, blah, 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 whatever you gotta do. And then be like, hey, I don't want you to end up like this. This is my reasoning behind it. And this is, I would suggest, trying to eat healthier when you're not with me. And then they can choose. They have all the information, and then they're free spirits, and then you did everything you can do, so there's nothing to feel bad about. And in essence, they're young. I wouldn't like push, I would just suggest. They're young, so they'll be fine. In the long run, they may make different decisions based on what you've done and what you've taught them. And, because they're intoxicating themselves with, processed foods, this can actually maybe even be a good thing in the long run, because then they have a lot more wiggle room, because they're going to be hanging around friends at some point. Their friends are going to be going out. They're going to be wanting to eat what they eat maybe. But regardless, it gives them more wiggle room. So now they can, when they start to eat healthy later on in life, there's a long process of all this wiggle room of, how we're always talking about you become sensitive? Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Laura can hear me. We need more comments, people. This is going to be like a 40-minute hangout. Okay. Should anyone worry about calcification if they don't have any conditions or disease? I'm a firm believer to not really worry about our health. Because when you start to worry, this is kind of what causes the health issue. Oh, I have calcium. I don't want to say it. Because it's like I'm saying it. You see what I'm saying here? It's like I'm affirming it. This whole spiritual and physical thing is more closer than we think. So it's all about not worrying about our health, but doing everything we possibly can in order to be healthy. And if you're doing everything you possibly can in order to be healthy, there's nothing more you can do. You're doing everything you possibly can do, so why are you worrying? If you do end up with calcification or some other disease and you're doing everything that you can do, there's nothing more you can do anyways. So the worry is futile. If you're doing everything that you possibly can do, then why are you worrying? Why Young writes, I'm starting an extended green juice fast, 92-day fast. I think last hangout or 2 hangouts ago, we talked about this woman who did something like this. And then it changed her body on a chemical level so fast where she required so little food so fast that she was doing raw foods for like 6 months, or no, like a few months before this. She got stuck in the raw food diet and she couldn't eat cooked food anymore because of how clean she became. When you do something like a 92-day juice fast, you are changing yourself on a chemical level so hardcore to where you require a lot less food than you used to have. So if you're going to do something like this, you better be prepared to make a lifelong change. And was wondering what supplements you would recommend. By the way, the person who had osteoarthritis, pine pollen has been shown in clinical studies to help with arthritis in someone. Okay, and I'm wondering what supplements would you recommend? I have been battling weight for a while. I have to lose 60 pounds. Okay, so you are in even a more extremely dangerous position than the typical person doing a 92-day juice fast. There have been countless women who I have seen do this 92-day juice fast who lost all this weight, and then they went back to a diet that wasn't even as poor as it used to be, and they gained all the weight back and probably more. And they're still eating healthy. Why would this happen? Well, what happens is when you do a 92-day juice fast, your body changes on a chemical composition and you require less food. So when you've gained all this weight, if you've been overweight and you do something like this, you have all these extra fat cells sometimes, depending on what age you were when you gained weight. But anyways, you were at this weight at one point. This is just what I've seen. It's a belief I have. And when you require less food and you start eating more than what you require, your body doesn't know what to do with it, so it puts it back on as fat. So if you're going to do a 92-day juice fast for losing weight, you better stick to requiring very little food for the rest of your life in order not to gain weight. I know women on a 100% raw food diet who have gained all their weight back from this, because now they want to eat fun raw food. They want to eat all day long. They want to snack in between meals. They want to eat the raw desserts. And because they took their diet so far to where they require so little food, they really require what I eat. Maybe not what I eat, but like 2 meals a day of basic fruits and vegetables. That's what their body really wants them to be eating for their consistent diet, but they can't do that. So now they're as big as they used to be. So you got to be careful with doing these long-term fasts. We have to understand what we're getting ourselves into. A raw food diet fast alone would get you to lose weight. It's almost like people think this like imaginable fantasy thing, making words up again, where they think, oh, I could do a crazy juice fast, I'm going to lose all this weight. Yes, you will do that juice fast and lose all that weight, but guess what? You can't eat much more now like you used to. So now you're going to gain it all back. At first, you're going to look in the mirror and you're like, I am beautiful. But long term, it's not good. So this is why we go slowly, and lose weight by eating a consistent, healthy diet. That's how you lose weight in a good way. And if you can't mentally handle a diet because eliminating too many things, then don't go there, because if you lose weight there and then you go back, you're going to gain the weight back. Choosing a diet is like choosing a spouse. You got to live with it for the rest of your life, or you're going to suffer repercussions. It's that simple. All right. Lots of questions. Good evening, Cheryl. Okay. B. Mayo writes, hi, Matt. Just had surgery on my left shoulder 3 weeks ago. Today, for bone spurs, bicep tendon repair, bone cysts, and all the cartilage was gone. And there was also a lot of frayed soft tissue and bursitis and arthritis. I'm a 53-year-old woman. I do have a great surgeon who has helped many pro athletes who ended up having to have the same type of fix after all else failed. Want to fix the same on the right side without surgery and clear other tissue issues too. I still have some lifelong chronic fatigue because of non-restorative sleep, a bit of leaky gut type IBS and low stomach acid, and brain fog with learning memory issues and staying focused on anything. Hair severely thinning and stressed by spouse's addiction. I am vegan for 12 years, gluten-free, whole foods diet, free of processed sugars and processed junk. I'm very excited about the future since I'm training to be a health coach and already am a physician assistant and want to help people get great type things you share, but need a bit of tweaking at this time with some issues. We'd love to join up with you and promote the wonderful lifestyle you teach at some point. Used to live in Panama and love the Southern Hemisphere. Also love what you said to the misdemeanor person. God loves us, and what happens to us is a gift to bring us higher and better, and often we don't see it that way for a long time. We will be brought up higher than the low we hit, and then we ask God for forgiveness and guidance. Okay. I'm trying to see where the question was. Was there a question? I don't think there was. Okay, so I feel in this situation, we got to make some changes mentally here. Instead of saying, I have these issues, chronic fatigue and non-restrict from this and leaky gut and IBS, low stomach acid, I'd be like, I had that in the past, but I'm totally healed now. There are foreign thoughts and energies that are going to make it feel like and make you think you're saying that, so you allow it in to actually attach and drain. And what we're trying to do here is, I am healthy. I am absolutely healthy. This is like, in order to heal, the number one thing that anybody can do is heal spiritually. I'm healthy. I'm totally healed. I'm doing everything I possibly can. I'm doing everything. Like, I'm totally healed. Like, this is, if you dwell on this type of thing, we've talked about this so many times in the past, in many past Hangouts. And this is like a critical backbone in terms of healing and being healthy. Tony Robbins, the guy who gets up there and is like the biggest motivator in the world, has had a tumor in his head for 35 years. Does he say he has cancer or that he's ill? No, he says I'm healthy. And he's lived with a tumor in his head for 35 years. The first doctor told him he had this tumor, and you know what? He got an opinion that would scare most people, and it would probably kill most people, and they would believe it and go into the spiral down and believe it and die. That's why placebo is such an amazing thing, because you do the spiritual work unconsciously. Oh, I'm healed. You believe it because you took this pill that had sugar in it. So for 35 years, he didn't say, oh, I have this tumor in my head. I have this tumor. No, I am changing the world, is what he said. And to this day, he has this tumor in his head. I'm telling you, this is huge. And it's a battle, because these foreign thoughts and everything are going to be saying, these foreign thoughts are not just like a whisper in your ear. It's a 6-dimensional experience. It's a vibration, it's a feeling, it's the whispering, everything all at once, to where you absolutely believe that this is you. I have this disease. I don't have any disease. I am healthy. And all this energy is coming down on you. You're feeling like it's saying, no, I'm not. I am healthy. I am healthy. You have the free will and ability to say, I am healthy. And try to stick that and concentrate on that whole entire vibration and feeling in your body, that essence of you. I am healthy, I'm healthy. And then you'll begin to see how this is kind of like a battle. Okay. Cheryl writes, oh, good point, stating that we have something. It's like confirming it with the universe, sending the vibrations out there that we have it, kind of like talking our bodies into feeling that way. Yikes. This is from 11 minutes ago, so it's not about what we were just talking about. Stating that we have something, it's like confirming it with the universe. I don't remember what I was talking about. Christopher Morales is here, and he writes, "Hey Matt, you want to know my reason for wanting to fast?" Remember, he was the intermittent fasting guy, and I was doing all those warnings. "It's because after the past 2 months, a lot of major life changes have happened in my personal life and that have been hard to deal with." Okay, so you want to fast for spiritual reasons. This is understandable. It gives you more focus. Excuse me. While eating cleaner, I found that my yoga meditation practice, it has been much easier to find answers towards these questions, which make them easier to deal with. I still feel, though, that there are repressed emotions from the past that I want to heal from and through fasting, I believe. Based on what others say, will heal this process. I know it will be difficult, but I want to attack them head on. Of course, I want to do it in a safe manner, which is why I'm writing you. Dude. Okay, this kind of drives me nuts. Many people will say this based on what others say. Okay, you have regressed emotions from the past that you want to heal. It's like people think that there's all these layers from the past. So I got to fix my issue that I had with my mom when I was 3 years old. I got to fix the issue I had with my dad when I was 7, and this issue and that issue. If you play this game, you are going to be playing this game for the rest of your life. There's no finishing this game. It's not about dealing with regressed emotions or past emotions or stuff like this. It's a reality, and it's almost like a chessboard game in some sort of aspect. Here is your reality. All 6 senses, you experience everything that comes in your reality. That's you. You get to feel everything that comes in. All your 5 senses, you hear, you smell, you taste, and then you feel things that are not of these 5 senses. Some people, it could be an emotion, a vibration, a feeling. These are all the 6 senses of what we're talking about. So it's like almost like a chess game here. So foreign thoughts and stuff like this can come in at you with all sorts of different vibrations. It's almost like if this button and this button and this button is pushing your reality, you let it in for draining of energy. So what has to happen is a learning process of this reality and getting this chessboard game under control. It's like a game. It's almost like, when this happens, I do this so that draining doesn't happen and I'm not suffering. I'm not going to play with little frills of, I'm a married person and I'm thinking of other girls or guys, or whatever you're doing, and playing and thinking of all these different things. I'm not going to do that because I realize all my spiritual energy is being drained and I have less power to deal with these things. I'm not going to get in an argument due to ego, that feeling of ego, and then power, like you submit to me, because it's the same situation there, and then you lose everything and you got to do this again. So all this is a learning experience to where we are able to have less misery and not let things attack us and take our energy away. And if you want to play that game of self-regressed emotions, it's a trap, because you will be playing that game for the rest of your life. Now, if you want to do a fast in order to work hard on the spiritual thing, that's a whole other situation. And then again, the number one thing we could really do for spiritual growth is if you were to do this that we talked about earlier, before this, I did this, this, and this. From now on, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You could do as much intermittent fasting you want for as many lifetimes as you want. Nothing is like this. He has the ability to take those, whatever you want to call them, out. Regressed emotions or whatever, those feelings and teach you how to keep things out, but all sorts of things. All right. Sheller writes, what about people that have cancer and such. There's so many supplements out there, herbal medicine, remedies and such. I must confess now that I started taking like 30 pills a day now, but they all seem to target these cells. What are your thoughts on things like this, if that made sense? It didn't really make that much sense. What about for people who have cancer and such? What about what? Like, so many supplements out there, herbal remedies and such. I must confess that I started taking 30 pills a day. I know. I see people taking supplements like they're pharmaceutical drugs or recreational drugs. It's like almost like I need my crack. It's this like fear thing that they're helping something, and if they don't take these, then they're gonna melt down or something. I take supplements, not that many, but I don't take them on a daily basis. I mean, there's certain things I take, like I really like reishi spore oil, and I take Keat Essential, not every day, but in, you know, just sometimes I'll take it here and there and there and there, and then sometimes I'll take it for a lot, and then I'll just stop, and then I'll take it a lot. But yeah, there's a whole entire relationship there that should be a little bit more healthy, it sounds like. It says, what about for people that have cancer and such? Are you taking all this because you're scared of getting cancer and everybody's told you that if you take these, you won't get cancer? I don't understand what's going on. Okay. Tanny Raw writes, hey, Matt. My mom is seriously addicted to coffee. My mom used to seriously be addicted to coffee. She has tried to minimize before, but her energy is so low. I know this would go away after a while, but in the meantime, do you think maca powder could help her energy levels? Like in a cup of warm water in the morning to replace her morning cup of coffee? Nice to see you tonight. Thank you. Glad you're all here. My mom is seriously addicted to coffee. She has tried to minimize. My mom is seriously addicted. She has tried to minimize, but her energy is low when she does that. The way my mom got off of coffee was she went on a whole foods diet and stuck with it and never stopped. And then her body did this whole food stuff and continued to eat it and continued to eat it. And her body became cleaner, changed on a chemical level to where it came to the point before she used to eat standard American diet with coffee in this mess. And there's all this toxicity. Then she went on a whole foods diet, and then she started detoxing, going through withdrawals of all this. So now she changed her body, so she changed on a chemical level. And now the most damaging thing that she was eating, consuming on the whole foods diet was the coffee. And then what happened at that point was the body is always trying to push you, if you do something consistently like this, to the next level. So what happens is it's trying to get rid of the coffee now. And then my mom got sick and went through crazy amounts of withdrawals through mucus and just got really, really sick. And then by the time she was done with that cold, she was weaning down coffee during this process. Okay, so first it was whole foods, weaned down and got changed on a chemical level. This was like 5-6 years of eliminating processed foods. If my mom was eating processed foods and drank coffee and she eliminated processed foods, I would be so happy I'd be drink all the coffee you want. And then you can hit her later on, 5 years down the line. So 5 or 6 years down the line happened, my mom got sick, and then as she got closer to this point of eating less, what happens is your mom will have an easier time weaning. She can start doing less now after she's caught up to all this. So that's what my mom started doing, and then boom, she got sick, and then it was over. She doesn't drink coffee anymore. So let us know if your mom eats processed foods. That's what I would focus on before coffee. And if she doesn't eat processed foods, then we could discuss. Laura writes, oh, there's lots of questions now. My daughter-in-law is having trouble with stones. She's been suffering for weeks. Oh, what's good for passing those stones? They're not sure where they are coming from. She's been in the hospital for times. They're not finding them. She's still passing small pieces and bleeding and cramping. Any ideas? What color is it? How big are they? She is going to a specialist tomorrow. Get that Dr. Norman Walker book on juicing. And he said that he had miraculous results of people passing stuff like this in weeks to months. Firstly, the processed foods is the cause, all this inorganic crap in processed foods is the cause of this buildup of stones. So the first step that has to happen is eliminate processed foods. And then the next step was, he recommended in this book, to drink hot water with lemon multiple times a day while drinking a few glasses of carrot, beet, cucumber juice. And all this together helps dissolve the stones. But if you're eating the processed foods, and he says he's seen miraculous things happen. Boom. Sun Toma writes, hi Matt, what green foods, multivitamins do you recommend? Also, any good liver cleanses? Cleaners? Edwin. I am personally formulating a green food right now that is going to blow your mind. You're going to feel it. You will feel it. This is probably 2 months away. In the meantime, you might want to check out Pure Synergy on our website. That would probably be my choice. It tastes good. Multivitamins, vegetable juices, carrot with greens, a couple times a day. Chlorella has every vitamin the body needs. Vegetable juices, I feel are the best. Liver cleaners. I would look at Andreas Moritz's Liver and Gallbladder Cleanse, the book. We have it on our website. You don't really, you could buy everything in the grocery store or the pharmacy. I would do that. Enemas and colonics are suggested when you do a liver cleanse because the liver dumps into the colon. If you want to do gentler liver cleanses, we have liver treks on our website, liver rescue on our website. There you go. Okay. Anastasia writes, or my wife would say Anastasia, how would you deal with the desire to have a lot of money, but not wanting to work really hard in New York for it? Anastasia, are you the one who we had this whole entire conversation last Hangout about this? What city would you recommend living in to have amazing raw produce and good weather? How would you deal with the desire to have a lot of money, but not wanting to work really hard for it in New York for it? That's like saying, I want to go on a lot of dates, but how do I do that without, I don't want to go out, I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go meet people. How do I get a lot of dates? Okay. What city do you recommend living in to have amazing raw produce and good weather? I've been everywhere. I'm always finding good raw produce. Okay, so it depends what you want. Like Florida can be nice. It's got beaches that are pretty clean, and some people are probably going to scream at me and say, "No, it's not. The air is clean, I believe." And they've got all sorts of fruits, coconuts, all sorts of things there. California, farmers markets galore. There's farmers markets a lot of places. But everywhere, there's Whole Foods, there's all sorts of things. And like, what's good weather to you? If you like rain, Northern California, they've got really good produce. Okay, Cheryl writes, is there really a healthy sugar substitute? I've heard that for people that can't tolerate sugar anymore, they start using coconut sugar, but do you think cancer and disease would feed on that type of sugar? Oh, I'm sorry for the question bombs. You can ask, I need the questions, that's fine. I've been waiting to finally make it to these Hangouts. I admire your writings. Awesome, thanks, Cheryl. Go contact Dr. Fred Bishi and ask him if cancer feeds sugar. If sugar feeds cancer, he'll absolutely go nutso. He is a proponent of saying that it doesn't. Not that you want to be eating coconut sugar or anything, but like he gets upset at health institutes for telling people not to give them carrot juice with greens or something or no fruit. You can't have fruit because it feeds cancer. You don't want to eat crazy amounts of fruit no matter what type of diet you're on. But me personally, I'm like on a very clean diet. My sugar substitute is apples. That's what I eat for sugar, and carrot juice. I don't really, every once in a while, I have fun with raw recipes. I would maybe do that once a week. If I do more than once a week, I don't feel well. And then coconut sugar might be in it, that's fine. But it also depends where you're at. If you are eating refined sugars every once in a while, and you're replacing that for coconut sugar, yes, that's a great improvement. So it all depends where you are on the scale. Can you recommend a good laxative? Enemas. The best thing for constipation. Also, I only eat one meal at night of raw fruit and vegetables. Is it fine to eat a lot of fruit at night? This is Stan. Stan, if you started doing enemas every once in a while, crazy things might happen. Okay, and then also, Stan, it all depends where you are on the scale that we're talking about. For example, me personally, I can't eat whole foods because I've been on a raw food diet for 18 years. My body requires very little concentrated food because it's too concentrated for me. It's like someone who goes on a whole foods diet, they can't eat McDonald's anymore without getting sick. So it depends where you are on this. So eating late at night is not the best practice because what happens is your body goes cleanses at night. But if you're only eating fruits and vegetables, this digests pretty quickly. So if you are eating ice cream, processed ice cream with refined sugar in it at night for the last 30 years, and then you replace that at night with fruit and vegetables, this is a huge improvement and it's extremely healthy. But if you take a guy like me, for the last 5 years, has been eating one meal a day, he's probably eaten past 4 o'clock, maybe 5 times in the last 5 years. If I were to eat those fruits and vegetables at 9 o'clock, I'm gonna wake up a mess. Runny nose, everything. So it all depends where you are on the scale, what your diet's like, and da-da-da-da-da. It sounds like, I'm guessing that it's probably a good thing. But I don't know. I have to know what your diet's like and how it's been before this. What is the consistent diet that we're plowing into us every single day? That's the key right there. The consistent diet that your body has adapted to. It's like people, they you have this consistent diet. Whatever you make your diet, that's what you generally eat every single day. For example, a raw food eater, their consistent diet might be having a fruit meal in the morning and a salad at night, while someone on the standard American diet is eating Fruit Loop cereal in the morning and Taco Bell and McDonald's at night. So that's their consistent diet, and this is my consistent diet. If I were to eat their diet, I'd get sick. If they were to eat my diet, they would start going through crazy amounts of withdrawals and detoxification. So this whole entire consistent thing is whatever you eat consistently over time, when you start doing fasting and playing with the raw food diet, this chemical level change happens really fast. We require less food very quickly. This is your consistent diet. And this is what many people run into problems with when they start messing with the raw food diet, is because they love how they feel. They're going crazy and they're going crazy. And then they're like, wait a minute, they balance out here. And now this is what their body requires. And this is what their body wants. And anything more than this, because they've been doing this for so long, is going to totally mess them up. But mentally, they don't want this anymore. And they go here. You see what I'm saying? Now they gain weight. Now, and they fight like this. They go back and forth. And they know they have to stay here, but then they come here for too many days straight and they get candida breakouts and they think they have chronic candida. No, you're out of your consistent diet. Your body requires less food than you're eating, and you're consistently eating more than your body requires. So you're having breakouts of yeast and whatever on your skin. If I were to do this and eat there, I would start having breakouts all over my body too. And I could say I have chronic candida and go into all this fear. I have candida, I have candida, I have candida. I don't have candida. I am healthy. That was for me. Okay. When you had the retreat, will you be having these hangouts, or will you stop for a few weeks? This retreat starts in 2.5 weeks. I'm dealing with everybody up close. Everybody's excited. We're all coming. Everyone's coming. The last retreat we had, there was actually 45 people. This retreat is less. It's going to be more of an intimate experience. There's about 20, and I'm extremely excited about it. So there are plenty of spaces left if you want to come. We are going to be rocking it every single night. The last retreat was actually really crazy. 45 people. But I like crazy. Okay. Oh, so will I be doing hangouts during these retreats? Probably. Yes, I'll be doing the hangouts. Maybe we can even do a hangout party. Maybe because we have parties at night. Maybe we could just bring the hangout there. Woohoo! All right. You know how you could get Crystal to do work? Crystal's our social media manager. We were talking about her at the beginning of this hangout. You have her do the fun things. Oh, we need a helper for the retreat. You want to come out? Yes, I'll come out. I'll do some work for you. Oh, I have a raw food festival in July. Do you want to come and help with it? Yes, I'll come and do that. Oh, can you do a newsletter for me? No. Can you do some Facebook advertising for me? No. She's spoiled. Spoiled. I'm trying, Joshua Strayer. That's his wife. He works, and this is his special little darling, and she's totally spoiled. Totally. No. You know I'm just playing. Okay. Cheryl writes, amen to that. I am healthy. We should be telling ourselves that. Exactly. Exactly. I am totally healthy. I'm doing everything I can. I can't do anything more because I'm doing everything I possibly can in order to be healthy. Yes, I am healthy. Okay. Avocados make me nauseous and stuffed mucousy, writes Desai. Have you experienced something similar, even if eating a large green salad? Yeah. It depends what happens. Okay, so what happens when you get to this level of raw foodism? I don't know. Is that where you're at? Raw foodism? When you don't eat avocados, let's say for example, my diet right now is apples, applesauce that I blend apples, no ingredients, but apples in a blender. And I put on a piece of romaine and I use nut butters. And sometimes I use cashew cheese that I make, which is simply just cashew coconut water fermented. And then I put the nut butter on the lettuce leaf with the applesauce, and then I eat that. So avocado is like a different composition of fat compared to what I currently eat. And if someone eats a high fruit diet and then goes to avocados, it's going to totally mess them up. But if you continue to eat it, you'll probably start to balance out. When I start to eat avocado, right, if I were to eat avocado, since I don't eat it right now, I'd probably get all mucousy like you do. But that's because you're not on the high fat diet. It's like you gotta, like, your blood has to change and stuff like this, I believe. But regardless, how much are you eating too? Like if I'm gonna partake in avocado, since I haven't had it in a long time, I'm gonna have like a big, huge avocado, and that's what messes me up. If you just have like a quarter of an avocado or half an avocado maybe, you probably won't get that messed up. And a lot of it also could be mental. It's like, oh, I'm eating an avocado. This is what's going to happen. So guess what happens? There's so much involved. It's all about that consistent diet. What is your body used to? And doing little bits. If I'm going to start eating avocado, I'll just like pile it on. And it's like, okay, I've had enough. Sun Toma writes, also, I have a herniation and worn cartilage and have lower back pain. What's good for pain management? My back is so healthy. It's crazy. I am going to do everything in my power to make it even more healthy. I'm doing the ideal stretches every single day. I saw these 5 stretches that I learned about online that are perfect for healing people's lower backs. I'm going to eat no more processed foods because processed foods can cause all sorts of gunk to get clogged in our body. I am going to do everything I can to eat healthy, so that there's nothing really more I can do besides what I'm doing. I could always search for more, like, go to a Hangout and ask this guy who's, professional in the field. Maybe he'll know some things I do for pain management. That's great. But I am healthy. My back is so good. What happens is we get a sensation of pain, a feeling of pain. And then these foreign thoughts utilize this. Pain, okay, pain just happened. Let's throw in fear to get this person to spiral down, to let us in, to suck energy straight from that back. Maybe these foreign thoughts even have the power to push buttons to where you actually feel pain in that area to even start this entire process. I don't know. So it's more like an entire vibratory experience. I'm healthy. And stopping that fear as it comes in. Be Mayo. You are spot on. It really doesn't matter what the health report says. What would you recommend to help with these issues? I used to have. Yes, I agree. And what would you do physically to support the mind work? I do totally believe at beginning the emotional, mental level. A lot of things, one of the main things we could do is focus and identify. Because what happens is, okay, your back's hurting, and then all of a sudden you feel the tinge of energy, the pain, and then you go into this, like this cry, feel sorry for yourself. if we focus, we can look and identify the entire pattern that happens, identify the whole entire experience, and become powerful, power over it. So focus is getting out of the mind, because when you're in your mind, the way to get out of the mind is to focus and be here. That's what focus is. And when you're in your mind, you're not paying attention and focusing on what's actually really happening. So this is like one of the first steps to freedom. And of course, the help. Please, I'm committing. D writes, why do you need a break from time to time when taking maca powder? I read this often. And why has maca become so expensive over the last 8 months? D, you're obviously not on my email list. I'm at the forefront of this maca situation. Read my articles at news.therawfoodworld.com. Crystal will probably post them here. China took all the maca. And then I wrote another one about an update on it after that. Or just go to news.therawfoodworld.com and type in maca in the search field, and the top 2 posts will probably be these 2 posts. But anyways, they say that raw maca has an enzyme in there, or some molecular composition that actually can actually irritate the human body. And this is why it's good to take a break. The price of maca has skyrocketed for everybody. We're actually single-handedly keeping the price down. We're keeping the price down. So if we were to let go, it would go up even more. Our markup is extremely low, and other people don't do what we do, like do everything in the farm to where we, they probably get, the only reason they can get close to the same price as us, because we do it ourselves, is because they buy the rejects and stuff like this. You should see what's going on behind the scenes. It's crazy. I just showed this site. Ooh, oh no, it's not on his computer, darn. Hey, Crystal, Skype me if you can. Drag that picture of the maca root that's the size of a basketball and just drag it into our Skype window, and then I'll post it right here on this video, and then you guys can see that picture. We'll see if Crystal could do that while taking minutes, while writing comments on Facebook, all at the same time. Maybe I should just go to a million different conversations, that, like subjects and stuff, so fast right now to where she can't even like think straight. Okay, because she's doing the minutes instead. Okay, I've picked on her too much tonight. I'm sorry. Okay. This maca root that I'm about to show you is laden with all sorts of pesticides and chemicals, and they're labeled as organic. This is what people are doing. I'm going to show it to you in a second. Okay. Tanvi writes, do you believe different foods carry different spiritual energies, kind of meet the energy of death? You hear that Skype sound? Guess what that is? Superwoman! Okay, let's put this on the desktop. You guys ready to see this? Let's see if I remember how to do a picture. Yeah, this is it, I think. All right. Here it is. Wait. Which one is it? It's one of these. Okay, let's try this. I might be right, I might be wrong. You guys ready to see something? Let's take my name out of it. I don't want to be associated. Okay. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Custom upload. There it is. You guys ready? Bam. Crystal, can you guys see this picture? Or do you see me? Or do you see both of us? I don't know. Well, this picture is a picture of a maca that let me know if you see this, Crystal, so I can fix it if you don't, is a picture of a maca that a farmer tried to sell us because it's maca season right now. Yes, it's the size of a basketball. Yes, there's many of them. Yes, maca root is supposed to be this inches big, the wild good stuff that has all the secondary metabolites in it. Okay, you should see me again. I wonder if that worked. Let me know, Crystal. I'm sure it did. Okay, so back to this. Oh, it didn't work. Dang it. Let's try this again. You only see me, it's not working. Oh well, sorry guys for wasting the time here. I was trying to, maybe this is it. Forget it. Dang. Okay, moving right along. Okay, do you believe different foods carry different spiritual energies, kind of meat, the energy of death? You know, you always hear this. It didn't work. You know, you always hear this, like people into this whole entire thing, people against meat, that if you eat meat, you get the fear of the dying animal and stuff like that. Is that true? I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't want to be eating farm factory stuff when it's like that. Maybe something more responsible, like in the health movement, we shouldn't be eating farm factory stuff. We know this, that it's bad for our health. Also, do you think too much fructose via fruit is detrimental to our health? It depends how far you're going to take it. If you're going to go like the 30 bananas a day, people who recommend this, and they don't even eat raw themselves, and when you eat a raw food diet and this type of diet, it's more damaging than if you were eating refined sugars with cereals like you've seen them doing videos, because they don't understand how harmful that could be. A few Hangouts ago, there were 4 different people on 4 different occasions, because the Woodstock Festival just happened, who had health issues, ran into major issues, teeth issues. The photo is in the comments, everybody, if you want to see this maca. And they were looking for help to reverse the issues they got from eating too much fruit. So it depends what you're doing. I eat fruit every day. It's a great thing, but how far are you going to take it? I am healthy, right, Cheryl? Oh, wow. Now there's crazy amounts of comments. Hi, Matt. When I drink green juice, beets, kale, sometimes my throat hurts, a fuzzy feeling. Today, someone told me that it was from calcium oxalate. Oxalic acid is what they're saying, not oxalate. What's in the green juice and the beet? Did you do the beet leaves? Did you do spinach? Oxalic acid is what they're talking about. And if you do too much of it, you'll probably feel not the best. But it's in the raw state, it's not necessarily that bad, supposedly. I Googled it and I'm not alone. Have you ever heard of this? Just don't do the leaves of the, I don't like to do kale juice either. Now, beets is very powerful. It has a high cleansing reaction on the body. When I drink beet juice, I got to do it slowly. I get the crazy worst gut because it cleanses the liver heavily. And this ends up in the system, and then the body has to expel it. You can get feelings in your throat. Anything can happen. So what I would try is to eliminate the beet for now and see what happens. Let me know. That might just handle it right there. And kale, I don't like to juice kale for some reason. I mean, maybe a little bit every once in a while. What would you do if you would have a Tamish background history and couldn't get employment in the US? What would you do and how would you handle this situation? You already asked your question earlier about this misdemeanor thing. You got to rewatch this Hangout. It has everything there. Christopher Morales writes, thank you very much for answering my questions and bringing me back to reality. I will take heed to your advice and reserve more time for the spiritual work. Meditation brings me to that place of peace to allow me to deal with those problems. So moving forward, like you said, spending more time with our Creator will be better path to go on. I appreciate your advice very much. Thank you. No problem. You're always spending time with the Creator. He sees everything. So it's all about connecting and focusing to connect to the Creator, number one. And doing everything in your power to not be evil. And if you're man, guess what? There's evil in our beings. And we resist that. So we're like, hey, I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to do it the best I can. You will see. Okay. Bianca writes, thanks. He just doesn't know or is interested in the link between food and illness. Okay, so I think this is the mom whose kids go and eat bad foods with them. He is in the paradigm that he does something good for the kids when giving them a bunch of ice creams. It's very foreign to him, apparently, to want to change things like that. I haven't had a long talk with him because he will get defensive about it. Did once, I guess. Okay. When he gave a daughter discussing cake, I'm not intimidating at all. He said to her, we'll drive around the corner and eat, Mama can't see us. Okay, so like it's a war of our influence on them. Didn't appreciate that. So say that, like, I don't want to be immature about it. I just care about the kids, and you know, if you don't have to make me feel bad by playing these games. If you're gonna do it, do it. I asked, you're gonna still do it, so there's no difference here. You know how I feel about it, but let's just be mature adults here. Your advice on reasoning with them will stick to. Not like reason with them, like saying, hey, listen, reasoning, I'm gonna reason with you and make you understand what's right. That's what I get when reasoning. It's not like that. It's coming to them like saying, this is my perspective. Hey, this is like what I would do. But you know, what am I? You're asking me, so I'm saying what I would do. It's more like, hey, if you're gonna eat those foods when you're with your dad, that's fine. But I just want you to understand, like, why I don't like it, why I personally don't eat it. And, you know, you're my children and I love you so much. I would love for you to see you do this. And if you're not gonna do it now, please keep this in mind in the long run. Give them complete freedom in terms of that. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you start doing that, you become the evil one. And then rebellion can happen. They already know a lot about how things work. My son says he has to drink more water if he is constipated, 5 years old. I just feel they have the choice with that. Okay. He just stuffs it down their throats. They don't use what they learned in my house, in his house. Thanks for taking the time. Yeah, again, like another aspect of this is being at peace with it. Because your children are so young, yes, processed foods is not good for the human body, but there shouldn't be long-term detrimental health here. It's like this ongoing gentleness that you give them, and then when they're older, they'll probably make this choice to follow your ways. That's the key. From my perspective, look, I know that this whole entire parenting thing can be very sensitive for people, and I'm being asked, that's the only reason I'm saying it. Tanny Raw writes, yes, she lives on crackers and Campbell's soup, haha. So imagine that, like, okay, so this is Tanny Raw's mom is drinking coffee. And I'm telling her, let her drink the coffee. And the goal would be to, instead of trying to get her off the coffee, is try to target processed foods. And then coffee comes last. I believe in what you say. She sees that I have lost 86 pounds, healed disease, and thrived for 10 years now on raw vegan. Doesn't seem to matter. So yeah, she really needs to get with the whole foods for sure. And don't push raw. Be like, hey, beans, brown rice, eggs, baked potatoes. You can even eat some fish, turkey, chicken are on this whole foods diet. You know, and she would lose weight. That's probably the carrot for her. You don't need to do what I do. That's just crazy, Mom. I know, I'm insane. Like, you know, It's like the reverse psychology that I use in my talks here. And then it's like, but look, do this. Like, you can lose all this weight by eating these foods you're already eating, just stop the other stuff. All right. Laura writes, I know I'm trying to get her healthy. Lemon, carrot, beet, cucumber, great, thanks. What's bad about coffee, by the way? The chemical composition of coffee, I know there's all these clinical studies that keep popping up stating that coffee, if you do this, it's good for you for this. But the chemical composition of coffee is pretty harsh on the human body, from my perspective. But this is why I'm recommending processed foods are the #1 thing we hit. That's the most damaging thing, and then coffee can come later. It's like this. If you were to go on a raw food diet and continue to drink coffee, you'll know that it's not the best for you. It's like me. I go on a raw food diet, I became clean. For about 2 years, I became cleaner. And I went on a date and I drank half a glass of wine. And I got sick. I was able to drink 2 glasses of wine before without getting any issues. And then I went on another date later, and 2 weeks later, and I decided to have a couple sips, and I was like, felt this burning go down, and I was just drunk for like 48 hours from 2 sips of wine. So what happens is you become more cleaner and sensitive, and you realize what things do to the human body, and then coffee would be. If I were to drink coffee right now, I wouldn't sleep for days. But yes, it's not the most damaging thing from my perspective. All right, I just hit the button to get all the comments, and now I gotta find where we lost. Okay. Okay. What's bad? Okay. One of the viewers writes, what is the chessboard? A way to not get drained by the past? A way not to get drained by the present. The present may use the past to drain you. That's all I do. And I'm run down and ill, sort of, because I'm going into my past and picking out moments that I didn't deal with well, or major life decisions such as where to live and what school to attend, missed opportunity. It really is hitting me hard as I feel like I just walked through darkness, missing everything good. The chessboard you are using like an analogy to remain in this current dimension and not to let the past drain you. I don't have a clean slate, wish I did. Other people invading on decent personal space and degrading insult, it all adds up. Okay, so what's happening when you're going into the past? You're not here, you're not actually even seeing what's in front of you. You're going into, you're focusing and you're going into almost like a tunnel because you're not seeing what's in front of you. When you are in that state, you don't see, you wouldn't be seeing me right now. You'd be seeing this picture of your past in your mind in pain and suffering. And what focusing does is it takes you out and then you actually feel the pain and suffering. And you're not looking at the past anymore because you're focusing right here, right now, and you're trying everything right now to be here. And this is the start of the battle. So you're saying, it's really hitting me hard as I feel like I just walked through darkness, missing everything good from your past because you made all these wrong decisions in your life. when you don't realize that your greatest asset is your mere existence right now of life. Because if you were here right now and you were brought into this moment where you actually saw, and you weren't in your mind, you actually saw everything that was in front of you right now. This is a psychedelic, crazy, chronic, truly blowing my mind world. I've got hands that I can move up and down like this. I can pick up a piece of paper and it feels like this. There's like air on my face and I'm seeing the wall that's white and little bunk bunk. This is heavy. This is like weight and it's glass. Can you hear that? This is crazy. And I'm like moving through space. There's this solid matter through space right now. But you missed all this because of what you did in the past. But this is happening right now. And the reason to make this choice is because the Creator can gift a person more life to where they actually see more of what is in front of them. And that's the greatest asset of all. And the mere existence of life, what if that was taken away from you? When you die, who determines where you go next? What if he determined, poof, you're gone. You don't enjoy it here. I'm not saying he's gonna do that, and I'm hoping like it's probably unlikely, it's not gonna happen. But I'm just saying, for becoming grateful, he has the ability to do that. Poof, gone forever. And that's why it's critical to do this. The determiner of and it's almost fun, this chessboard. I'm going to prove to you, like I've been dwelling on my past for all this time, for my entire life. I'm excited to focus and see what's really going on here. Identify this pain and start growing here to become closer to you. Yes, Matt, let us know how to have a lot of money and not work for it. As we said, you can't do that. And yeah. Watch last week's Hangout. We talked a lot about money, and because there was one woman, that woman down there, who was talking about it. No, it was someone else. Okay, but the most people just blow the way to financial freedom. You got to watch the last Hangout. Is to take people spend their money on all this stuff. They take their money and they blow it on their mortgage or whatever. Their expensive cars, they want to go out and party, they want to have fancy clothes and stuff like this. However, if a person for 5 to 7 years lived very frugally and didn't live an extravagant life, maybe even you chose to live at your mom's house for 5 to 7 years, or you lived in a very cheap place for 5 to 7 years, and you could have a salary of, let's say, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. If you were to invest $5,000 a month for 5 to 7 years, in, let's say, here in a bank account in Ecuador where the interest rate is 7 to 9%, you would be a millionaire after 5 to 7 years. Or you can invest it in other places, put 100,000 there, put it as time goes on. And if you're working for the man, and then let's just say you get $1 million, and you're earning 7% interest rate on all this $1 million, you're making probably $60,000 a year in interest, while you don't even touch the $1 million balance. but we don't want freedom. Awesome, Gila. We don't want freedom. We want the car. We want the luxury lifestyle. We want this and this and this. And you're giving your freedom away through these things. And let's just say you don't make that much money per month, but you got to sell everything and just go and live frugally. If you're making $3,000 a month, okay, so it's going to be more than 5 years. It's going to be under 10 years. Me personally, I know I've talked about this in many Hangouts. I don't really have anything to my name but this place here, because I've been told to throw it all into the business to expand it. We're going into Europe. There's some other things we're doing also. I can't really mention here, but everything's been going into expanding for 2 years. If this business were to crash tomorrow, I have nothing. That's the number one most important thing to me. And if I lose everything, which please, I hope not, you know what I'm going to still have? The gifts that I've been given from the Creator. I have more life now than I used to. This moment in time, the experience. That's the number one thing to me. There's no dollar, there's no car, there's nothing more valuable than this. So grateful. Okay. Eep. I meant processed sugar, like bags you buy on the shelf. Yeah, you don't want to eat that stuff. Hey, Matt, good evening. Right, Charlene. I was just wondering why you didn't carry any green tea in your store. We carry green coffee bean extract. We don't have any green tea. I heard it's good for your health. What do you think? Yeah, I also heard coffee is good for your health. There is caffeine probably in green tea, I think, and there's a lot of benefits to it. I wonder if we have green tea. I don't think we do. I'll think about that one. CJ writes, hi, Matt. I recently started using your turmeric powder. Is 1 teaspoon a day in smoothie a good amount? Or that's a lot. This stuff is powerful. Our herbs are extremely powerful. In a smoothie or a good amount, do you feel that when you do that? Or would more be recommended? Let me know what it says on the back of the bag. If more, how much would you take? I've read turmeric. It's extract, by the way, is good against inflammation. Thanks to me. It's not turmeric, it's turmeric extract. So it's like the potent constituent of the turmeric. A teaspoon is plenty. It was funny, Angela, the white kidney bean extract. She took a teaspoon of that because I told her some of the benefits. This stuff is so powerful. Not any of our herbs are. She's like, it was hilarious. Okay, Sarah's Gabbery. Back to raw, 10th day, 100% raw. Cooked food addiction doesn't exist. Why do I feel like I'm coming down off of a drug? Rushing thoughts, preoccupation with cooked food, even though stomach is full, irritable, emotional, feeling really good though. I can feel the expansion again. Sarah, you obviously haven't seen my videos. It's detoxification. What is detoxification? When you eliminate something from your intake completely, then you go through withdrawals. Like if a coffee drinker eliminates coffee, they're going to start getting the shakes. They're going to get coffee breath. They're going to get that headache because they've eliminated. They're going through withdrawals of coffee. If you think the coffee drinker has a problem, now imagine someone jumps on a 100% raw food diet and eliminates everything from their diet, but raw food, which is practically like water with just delicate soluble fibers. It's almost like a water fast, a little bit more concentrated, not as extreme. It's why it's called the detox diet. You're eliminating all these ingredients, all the cereals and all those chemical ingredients on the back, refined sugar, processed starches. The coffee drinker has it easy. Your body's going to unload and you're going through withdrawals right now. That's why you are feeling this. And if you were to eat the processed foods that you used to eat, it would stop the withdrawal process, which would feel incredible, like when the coffee drinker drinks their coffee and they're like, thank you, they got their fix. But it also stimulates you, just like it stimulates them at the same time, and you're flying, and you might be fooled into thinking that it's a good thing to eat the cooked food. There you go. You're saying cooked food addiction doesn't exist. It's not cooked food addiction doesn't exist. We're not saying eliminating cooked food is good. I'm not saying that's what the situation is here. But when you eliminate something that's more concentrated compared to your current diet, you go through withdrawals. If a person is on a whole foods diet, does this for 10 years on a whole foods diet, and then all of a sudden they eliminate all the starches from this thing, but they still eat the animal protein, the eggs, the dairy on a whole foods diet, but they eliminate all the grains, guess what's going to happen? The grains are not bad for the human body, but they're going to go through withdrawals. They're taking it to the next level, and they're going to get toxins running through the bloodstream. They might even get sick. You see how this works? We're not saying that these starches are bad for you, but if you eliminate them, you're going to go through the withdrawals. Sheldon writes, water filters, so many varieties, and people say this one works better, then this one works better. Does it really matter which kind of long as it filters, such as ozone ones, ionizing ones, distilling ones? The price range from like $30 to $1,000 or so. What filter do you recommend? Thank you so much. I'd like to drink distilled water because it's void of all junk. That's what Norman Walker recommends. I've done an entire video on distilled water. Go to my YouTube channel and type in spring water, why I don't drink it, or something like that. Type in spring water. If that doesn't pop up, try distilled water. If that doesn't pop up, try water. And watch that video so you can hear the reasons why. Hi, Ashley. She says, hi, Matt. That was 37 minutes ago. I'm behind. But anyways, I would drink distilled water personally. But if I were to get a water filter, I like to have the whole house filtrated. So when I go in the shower, I'm not getting that chlorine and breathing that stuff in. I could feel good about taking a bath. I could feel good about washing my vegetables in the non-fluoridated water. I would get a whole house filtration system. Crystal, what is the link to the ones I like to recommend? When I go to the States, I'm going to be buying one of these. When she gives me the link, I will state the one that I'm going to buy when I go to the States for the entire house. You could get it for about $1,000 for the entire house being water filtered. Matt, thank you for all your advice. Can you please provide any helpful hints, suggestions for dealing with very difficult time in life when the worst possible things are happening and you still don't have the resolution on the outcome in a court case that can very negatively affect your life? How do you deal with it? I got your question at the beginning of this Hangout and I spent like 15 minutes on it. So you got to watch this Hangout. You could probably go to YouTube right now and it's probably there available to you. And if it's not, it will be when we get off in 10 minutes. And watch the first half of the Hangout and your answer is right there for you. Okay, so it's aquasanahomefilters.com. aquasanahomefilters.com. Get one of the rhinos. Okay. Vianney writes, oh wow, I got catch up to do. Hi Matt, how long after going raw till you noticed a difference with your eyes, if any? My eyes were lighter as a child and I know here will be different after a while. I don't know how long. Your time is appreciated. There's more than what's been spoken. There's more than what's been spoken. Thank you. The eyes, my eye color, I don't believe changed, but my vision became more crisp, I feel like. But I was doing like enemas and colonics also. That's really powerful. I mean, you probably get the benefit without doing that in the long run, but it just speeds it up. but then it also changes your chemical composition faster when you start eliminating faster. How do you ferment cashew cheese, please? You mean with a dehydrator? Nope. What I like to do, okay, you guys are gonna wanna use water. You fill up a blender with cashews, like an entire bag. And then you fill up water to about the same height as the cashews. You can add some probiotics. I like to put a little bit of sea clear in instead. It's a fermented raw miso. Probably like a teaspoon of that in a whole entire pound bag of cashews and coconut water. And I blend that, and I'll put that in a two nut milk bags so it doesn't seep through, and the liquid will still come through overnight. And then in the morning, I put it in glass jars, and then it's done. Tastes like Philadelphia cream cheese. You could also, you know what you could do actually? Just put them in the jars. Don't put them in the nut milk bag. It's going to piss you off. Put them in jars, but the jar, you got to leave space in the jar. It's going to blow up and explode the jar, and you're going to have cashew sauce everywhere. That happened to me this morning, actually. Just leave it out of the refrigerator for 24 hours, and then it should be fermented. What are the ideal stretches you just mentioned? Did I mention stretches? Right when you wake up in the morning, go like this. How far can you go? Just by simply putting your head down like this. You'll probably be in pain. Go like this, and then go like this. Sit there for as long as you can, and then go like this. Do it right now, most people. Who cares if it's first thing in the morning? Try it right now. Ow, ow. And then, but the forward ones, first thing in the morning, you're the most stiff, and test it out then too. I did that every morning for 3 months until there was no pain anymore. Meridians. We'll talk about that at the retreat too. Geez, how do we know what's truly organic then? If they can get away with labeling anything organic? Grr, vigilance. Do you make your own fermented coconut water? No, sometimes they're fermented already because they're older. If so, do you sell the starter? Yeah, we do. We sell the starter. It's called Kefir Starter Kit or Culture Starter Kit on our website. Thank you. Welcome home. Be Mild, got your nut butter grinder and want to make tahini. Do you dehydrate the seeds first? No. Or just use them raw? Yes. They are the natural organic seeds. Okay. What is the best thing to help my hair grow, to get my hair to grow? Cucumber juice with carrot cucumber juice. And then you can add lettuce and alfalfa. Start with, you could do carrot cucumber juice, and if you want to take it even to another level, add lettuce and alfalfa. Maybe cut it. Not like completely cut it, just get a trim. That might help. What do you recommend when fasting with just water and side effects start coming? Like lower crazy back pain or nausea. From personal experience, I don't mind sticking it out, though thought I'd ask. Why are we fasting? What's the reason here? Like, what are you trying to do? Hi, Matt. If there was one fruit and vegetable to limit, what would those be and why? To limit? Processed foods is what we want to eliminate. Maybe tomatoes. I mean, there's no vegetables to limit at this stage, from my perspective. I feel nauseous and a little weird after taking shots of wheatgrass. Any idea why this happens? Yes, it makes me want to throw up when I drink wheatgrass. It's intense, man. Just do a little bit. This guy's extreme. Raw beets alone and raw beet juice alone do make my throat scratchy too when I add lemon vinegar. Okay. If someone takes HIV meds daily, what's good to counterbalance the effect of the body organs? 10 year all rights. Yes, Whole Foods, amen. I'm not really privy with the HIV meds. I don't really know much about that. Hi, Matt. Did you get to check out the oleander extract? Thanks much. I did. Which one was that? Because I checked out a couple things. Oleander. I think I remember reading it that, I'll look again later. I forgot. There was a couple things I looked up, and I've been kind of mixing up between the two. It's not something I don't think I would take. I think it said something about it being really toxic and could kill a person if you take too much. And was that the thing that you said cured cancer? I don't know. It's not my thing. Okay. Why is there such a big difference in opinion with vegans and vegetarians on which one should consume? Some say fruits are the only or main thing that should be eaten, and veggies are a waste, and the others say the opposite. Both sides seem extreme to me. I tend to lean towards more vegetables and occasional fruit, but I've had a few people tell me that vegetables are not necessary and do nothing, and I should mainly focus on fruits. Vegetables are the best, from my perspective. There's arguments everywhere in the world. I juice beets and drank them straight when I was at the juice feast, and my throat got, okay, so it sounds like it's the beet. What's good for inflammation? Do you recommend our cumin and how much to take? Improved diet, whole foods. We've got 2 minutes here. I'm going through all the questions. Matt, sorry, I know you have been fed up with fruit questions, right, Susan? When you ate a lot of fruit, did you find yourself constantly craving it? Yes. It's almost like I was shaking. I was like trying to get to the fig tree as soon as I could because I was going to pass out. Meaning only wanting to eat fruits and a bit of vegetables. Can a person be healthy eating it long term? I don't think so. Also, how would you deal with the situation when I use exercise to burn extra food consumed? There's something called natural energy. When you clean yourself on a cellular level, you have higher energy levels with the need of less food. Your body becomes more efficient and requires less food to maintain high energy levels. I wouldn't think that is the best long-term option for health, as calorie restriction is always beneficial. The reason you lose energy is because you go through withdrawals. And once the withdrawals are gone and you've adapted on a chemical and cellular level, you have more energy and require less. Oh, it's turmeric extract. Glad I asked. I didn't feel any difference though. I need more. One of the viewers. Being tired, run down and sleepy is normal, right? Being tired, run down and sleepy is normal, right? Flu-like when you are new to raw foods. Cleaning colon and doing enemas. I know you have to spell check change to enemies. Haha, I meant enemas. Yes, this is normal. Being tired and run down and sleepy, everybody experiences at some point or other. We got to sleep. We've got to take care of our bodies. This is part of the human body processes. Nat just joined now. She missed the entire fun episode. Hi, Matt. I just wanted to say that it is so cool that you take time out to spread happiness to all of us. You are always so positive and seem to be able to answer just about anything asked. Thanks, Tina. I get it from, I've been gifted, and thank you. And thank you for coming. And there's a crazy amount of viewers here right now, and it does my heart really good. And this is one of my favorite things to do in the world. Would like to know what water, okay, here we go. And I totally missed why you guys are moving back. Why? I'm totally loving your way of life there. We're gonna still be here half the year. We're gonna be going back and forth. We're doing retreats here twice a year still, all that stuff. Hi, Matt, thank you. And I'm coming to the States because it's part of my work I do with the creators. Gratitude, you are so funny, writes Sharisa. Let's just say I admire your patience and willingness to be here. I love listening to your responses. Laugh out loud. Wondering what the status is on the Sacha Itchy protein powder. It's in process. We're in the process of pressing the Sacha Itchy oil, taking the protein powder out, bagging it up. It's going to ship any day, and then we'll be 2 weeks after that. So we're probably talking 3 to 4 weeks. I'm hoping 3. I just saw somewhere alfalfa is poison, or the sprouts. Alfalfa is one of the best things you can do. It's one of those highest chlorophyll-rich foods in the world. It has more minerals than any other vegetable I know of. It's an incredible thing to fight infection, and it's a great longevity food, especially in juice. After listening to the person about the green juice and what you said about kale and calcium oxalate, it's oxalic acid. Is it okay to drink the hair juice long term? If you can handle all this is good for you. If you just drink too much oxalic acid, do less of the beet leaves. If it's oxalic acid, just do less spinach. I was drinking carrot spinach juice for years, every day. Oxalic acid, Norman Walker says, helps the peristalsis in its raw form. When it's not raw, it is actually damaging to the human body. So I wouldn't be scared of vegetable juices. If you are scared of if this scared you, just eliminate. Don't do beets. I rarely do beets. I do it every once in a while for the nutrition and cleansing the liver. Especially don't do the leaves, and you're fine. I don't like kale that much either in juice. It's like, I mean, it's all right every once in a while. What is your favorite nut butter meals? Nut butters, meals. I eat all the nut butters, but I feel like the most nutritious and beneficial is almond butter. So I make sure to have that every single day. And then I have like a row of nut butters of different kinds, all Brazil nut, pumpkin seed, pine nut butter, tahini, black sesame tahini. I have them all. And I usually choose 2 or 3 as I'm making my lettuce wraps. I'll take my blended apples, put it on a lettuce leaf from the garden. Lettuce is awesome here. If you didn't see that video of our gardens, just check it out. And then I'll actually put a nut butter first and then the apples. But I do almond butter for like the first half of my meal, and then I'll change up the nut butters. I like the cashew cheese too. That's like, it's almost like not the best. It's the best tasting, but it's probably not the best nutritious. Because like all the nut butters have so much nutrients and good stuff, protein, whatever. But like Brazil nuts have selenium, pumpkin seeds have zinc, almonds have like all sorts of things. What you recommend if we craving chips or cookies? Chocolate. Oh, Nat, you came in at the last second. We're past the 10 o'clock mark. We've been here for over 2 hours rocking this. What do I recommend for craving chips or chocolate? This is like, you should watch some previous Hangouts. If you want to come next week, actually go to this link that you're on, asking the questions. Actually, news.therawfoodworld.com/live. Go there in like 2 days, and the next, you can ask a question. You guys can ask questions the entire week, and then I'll answer them first thing, because I'm done tonight. We're rocking the house here. We're getting ready for the raw food retreat. There's still spaces left. I'm so excited about it. It's going nuts. So I'm talking to everybody. They're getting their plane tickets. We're getting taxis ready. You feel like doing something last minute, something ridiculously crazy. You want to come to this raw food retreat in 2.5 weeks, last minute decision. Put your deposit down on our website at therawfoodworld.com, $500 deposit. I will give you my aunt's information who will book your flight at the cheapest rate. You can go to kayak.com, check it out, see the lowest rates, and she'll get that same exact flight for you at the same exact price. You don't have to do any work. It's like having an assistant travel agent at no charge whatsoever. We will pick you up in Loja with other retreat members sharing taxis with you. You will be brought here, and then the fun begins. This is no joke, guys. What happens is there's a special type of protection here. This foreign thought garbage that you're exposed to at every moment of your life, you're going to have a breather from it. You're going to be experiencing things that you never experienced before in your life. It is going to be profound. So I recommend coming. If if you want to do something crazy, 2.5 weeks from today, we are having this raw food retreat. I challenge you to come and rock the house with us. I'll even give you special treatment. And you'll see what that means if you do it. All right, guys. So you can, all week long, you can ask questions at news.therawfoodworld.com/live, and I'll be ready answering them first thing when I get here. It's good to have some questions built up at the beginning because they start piling in later. So thanks for coming on. This is my favorite thing to do all week. You have no idea how privileged I am that you have come here tonight. I am blessed. I'm excited. I get to do this every single week. How lucky am I? Thank you. And mwah!